there everybody, Chris from Orlando here, and today it's part 2 of talking about Space Mountain. While you don't need to watch last week's video, I'll put an eye up in the corner in case you want to check it out. Now you'd think that with space being such a behemoth of a ride, that surely there's not that many fun stories working there. After all, it doesn't have the wackiness factor of say Jungle Cruise or the Monsters Inc. laugh floor. But you'd be wrong. There's just as many odd stories, and if anything, the guests are even stupider over there. So let's get to it. So let's get the Karens out of the way first. If you're a long-time viewer of this channel, you might have noticed I used the phrase 8 hours early for their fast pass to demonstrate an absurd demand from a guest. Well, that phrase is based on a true story. At Space Mountain, you get a lot of people who just do not know how fast passes work. Most of the time you have people showing up like 10 to 20 minutes early, or if the day is super long, they might misread their time as 10 a.m. when it's actually 10 p.m. But why is 8 hours my go-to joke? Simply put, it's because people complained about it 6 times while I was working there. Yeah, once is an accident, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern, 6 times there's a gas leak in the temporary. Fast pass entry is also where you get so many people just trying every trick in the book to try to skip the line. It's kind of pathetic, but also hilarious in hindsight. I once had a group come up and say, hey, so 3 of us have Fast Pass, but the others don't, and we're celebrating a wedding. Can you let all of us in? Now, officially the answer is no. But the bosses encouraged us to let them in if the majority of the people in the group have Fast Pass. So I asked, how many is in your group? 20. I actually let out a laugh because guests do that all the time. It's like, oh, we have 20 people, but it's only actually like 5. But no, they were serious. The guy got super pissed when I wouldn't let him in, but luckily the coordinator working that day was someone who didn't take anyone's shit and always had our back, so it was all good. The worst time to be out front is during a town time, which happens a lot. So much so that you can actually check into Breakdown Mountain on Facebook. Now, for some reason, people hear the phrase, we're closed and we do not know when we'll be back open, and here, oh, so the line starts here then. It happens a lot that people will wait outside for a long time waiting for us to reopen, not understanding the irony of waiting in line to not wait in line. Speaking of downtimes, let me tell you about the time we broke down all because of one teenager and his hat. So, unload, right? Part of their job is to check the ride pouches before sending the rockets back to the loading area. Makes sense, after all, people leave their stuff there all the time. One time, I found a hat, and then called out for anyone missing the hat. No one replied, so I put it in the lost and found behind me. After the rocket begins moving again, this teen steps over the yellow safety line looking for his hat. Boom! Station stop. Now, since the rocket was no longer in the parking space, I couldn't reach over to give this kid his hat. So I told him to wait behind the yellow line and I'll get his hat when the next rocket is parked. He stepped back, I start to send the rocket again, and he immediately steps over the line asking for his hat! So that's another station stop. Again, get behind the yellow line, you tool! Steps back behind the yellow line, there's a pause, and I start to send the rocket again. There's a tense moment where it looks like everything is okay. And then he crosses the line again! Another station stop. At this point, I'm sure Tower was sweating bullets wondering what was going on down here. So I told him, again, to step back or he's not getting his freaking hat. Now, if I was doing a comedy bit, that would be the end of it. After all, comedy comes in 3s, right? But, of course, he did it again, and now the E-stop button is also lit because the ride cascade. The guy got his hat back, but I don't think he realized he single-handedly broke Space Mountain. So let's move on to a more upbeat story. One of my favorite things to do whenever I had to close was, if my break happened to coincide with the fireworks, I would sneak out back to the grassy hill behind Space Mountain, have a seat, and just enjoy. It's so nice to just sit back, relax, and not have to worry about being crowded by hundreds of people behind you. In fact, it was this activity that inspired my video end screen. Whenever closing time came around, I always tried to be the cast member to close tower. Why? Besides being able to sit down and relax after a long day? Well, it's simple really. When all the guests have left and your fellow cast members have to walk the track to pick up the dozens of lost sunglasses from the bottom of the track, the cast member in tower gets to become a DJ. Yeah, the coordinators let us play music over the ride's PA system. There's nothing like blasting everything from Powerline to Hamilton to Rocky Horror over the sound systems to end the day. This is DJ Chris from WCFO Radio. Hope you're enjoying these fire beats out there, track walkers, and don't forget to subscribe if you're rocking out. It also might be where Chris from Orlando originated, because while looking for the next song to play, I would just tell stupid jokes that no one will listen to, so not much has changed. Speaking of track walks, I did enjoy walking the track in order to reset the ride. Side note, if you're afraid of heights, maybe volunteer to reset the lower parts of the track. You'll not be able to see the different walkways in the ride for obvious reasons, but it's fascinating to see all the different walkways and steep staircases and certain death traps everywhere. Take a deep breath and smell the tetanus. No, but seriously, I got jaded to a lot of things while working at Disney, but I never got bored of walking the track. My favorite place to reset the ride was up near the top of the track, i.e. one of the few safe spaces you could actually put up your hands on the ride. It was always a great view, and people always freaked out when they saw you from the People Mover. And because I'm also a theater nerd, there is nothing more fun than belting out there from Hunchback of Notre Dame from the top of the track. When you work at a place that's always so loud and fast moving, it's those quiet moments when you take a dust-filled deep breath and enjoy this moment you found yourself in. And that's Space Mountain. She's cranky, a diva, and slow. Like, seriously, your top speed is 27 miles an hour. But I love Stella with all my heart. At least until Tron opens up. Don't forget to like and share this video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to Chris from Orlando for more awesome behind-the-scenes theme park videos. I'm Chris from Orlando, and stay behind the yellow line! I will get your hat in a second! Take care, y'all. One love. Don't hurt nobody.